Okay, let me give you a quick disclaimer. If you don't like shotgun players in Call of Duty, you are probably going to hate this video. Welcome to the channel, specifically the new series where we go through every Call of Duty. What is up, everybody? Chaos here, and today we are going to go over the best shotgun in every single Call of Duty. If you guys are enjoying this new COD history series, please drop a like, and we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to kick off our list with the best boomstick in COD 4. Now, how this works is we start at COD 4 and we go all the way to the newest Call of Duty. Now, this is something. The W1200. I don't even know how to say that. W1200, W1200. Also known as the I keep this for close encounters gun. There are only two shotguns to choose from in COD 4, so this wasn't a tough decision since the other one is the M1014, which was only good in really specific circumstances. Now, come to think of it, the shotguns in general, they were kind of crappy all the way around in COD 4 due to how little the map design actually complemented that playstyle, but I digress. The W1200 was a pump-action shotgun that would hit for anywhere between 80 and 320 damage. This being back before COD developers started caring about things like shotgun consistency. Like I said, the general map design of COD 4 didn't exactly complement shotguns very well, but if you were somewhere like maybe Shipment or Vacant or even Crash, you could get a ton of work done if you stuck to the narrow areas and kept a low profile. Moving on. World at War. The double barrel shotgun. Now, like COD 4, World at War only had two shotguns to choose from. And like COD 4, neither of them was the best. So, yeah, World at War featured even more open map design than COD 4 did, making shotguns a liability most of the time. But if you managed to get a match on a map like Dome or Courtyard, you could do some work with the double barrel. This thing would hit for a minimum of 15 damage per pellet, with 8 pellets coming out of the barrel, meaning it would deal a minimum of 120 damage if you hit all of your pellets, regardless of the range, and you could easily cheese people with that, especially in hardcore mode. Now, the double barrel did have some drawbacks, like the fact that it could only hold 2 shells, and the reload time wasn't very friendly. I mean, it did have an extremely consistent damage output. That helps, right? That makes it the best shotgun out of the 2 shotguns in the game. Before we get to Modern Warfare 2, the PlayStation 4 giveaway is active. All month, every month, everybody, somebody's going to win one. Drop a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on, and you let me know in the comment section, what was your favorite shotgun in COD history? Make sure to include your Twitter handle, and good luck. Okay, Modern Warfare 2. No shocker here, the SPAS 12. Now, Modern Warfare 2 shotguns, they were kind of dumb, okay? Unlike the previous COD games that only had 2 shotguns each, Modern Warfare 2 threw in 6. I mean, it was crazy. They even gave you an underbarrel shotgun attachment as the 7th because apparently someone thought that was a good idea. I'm not complaining. I like shotguns too, but you have to wonder what was going through the developers' heads when they decided to change course so drastically here. Anyway, it's kind of hard to pick a best shotgun in Modern Warfare 2, and if I was making this list back in 2009, I would say the Model 1887s, but since this has been patched and it's not the current build, I can't do that. And honestly, I'm going to go with the SPAS 12. The AA-12 may have been more spammable, but if you want to be a versatile and slightly more ridiculous boomstick person with your shoddy, you went with the SPAS. It was deceivingly good. It had really good range, and with the extended mag attachments, which really didn't make sense because the gun doesn't even have a magazine. But anyway, you could carry up to 16 shells at once to spam your little heart's content. And speaking of the SPAS 12, we move over to Black Ops 1. Now, unlike Modern Warfare 2, the Black Ops SPAS 12 was a semi-automatic shotgun. However, it shared some similarities with its Modern Warfare 2 counterpart, such as the big magazine, the spamming capabilities, and the surprisingly solid range. Now, you won't be getting as many one-shot kills with the BO1 SPAS. You'd rarely need to pop someone more than twice, though, to drop them. If you don't get the kill in 2 shots, well, you probably shouldn't have been engaging them with the shotgun in the first place. With a fire rate cap of 312 rounds per minute and an 8-round mag, you could go to work on people with the SPAS on the smaller maps like Nuketown and Summit. Although, let's be honest, shotguns were kind of lacking all around in Black Ops 1, and how many of you ran a suppressor on your BO1 SPAS? Modern Warfare 3, the SPAS 12, screw it! We're gonna make it a trifecta. Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that back in this era of Call of Duty, you would be using the same guns year after year from different developers. That's something that the COD series kind of lost once it decided to jump in the future, but maybe we'll get that back soon. Anyway, the SPAS 12 returned in Modern Warfare 3 as one of the pump-action shotguns, and while it wasn't quite as stupid as the Modern Warfare 2 version, I still think it was the best shotgun in the game. And again, if I was making this list back in 2011, I would say the Striker was the best shotgun in Modern Warfare 3, but since that's been patched out, it's now 2019, I'm going with the SPAS. 8-round shotgun, 12 rounds with extended mag, which again didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but we're going to go with it. It would hit for up to 30 damage per pellet, making one-shot kills really easy at close range, and even when you backed up a bit, you could pop people rather easily thanks to the impressive range. It also featured a weapon proficiency simply called damage, which would give you a flat damage buff across the board, cranking the pellet damage from 30 to 42. Now the KSG may have had better raw damage, but the Spaz 12 had better range. Speaking of the KSG, Black Ops 2, now hands down the best shotgun in the game. Rather than being a buckshot like the other shotguns, the KSG was a slug that would deal between 75 and 200 damage with a 1.5 times headshot multiplier, meaning it could deal up to 300 damage with a single pull of the trigger. It also came loaded with a 14-round mag, and it fired at 77 rounds per minute, which made it a force to be reckoned with. Now, the KSG really didn't feel like any other shotguns we've seen in COD, and it functioned more like a marksman rifle as the range was ridiculous, and it forced you to be accurate and precise rather than just fire off in someone's general direction. The KSG was effective for over 30 meters, and it was definitely one of the most intimidating guns in the game. And sure, some people like the Remington, and I get it. There were some weirdos out there that liked the M1216, but if we're talking about raw stats, it's the KSG. Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, shotguns weren't a super common sight in Ghosts, mainly for the same reasons as COD 4 and World at War, but when they were there, and you did sight one, it was the Bulldog. Now, the maps were really open, and since the time to kill was so quick, getting flanks was really difficult, and using a shotgun often puts you at a disadvantage. But if you managed to get one of the few small maps in the game and you really wanted to use a shotty, chances are you gravitated towards the Bulldog. Semi-automatic shotgun, very powerful, dealt up to 50 damage per pellet, making one-shot kills very easy at close range, but the downside was you could only hold 6 rounds by default. It could also fire up to 480 rounds per minute, making follow-up shots and quick kills super easily. Now, honestly, I'm surprised you don't hear more people talk about how annoying this gun was, because when you lay it out on paper, this thing was overpowered, and I guess due to the larger map size of Ghost, you didn't run into it as often. But if you were playing on Strike Zone, you dealt with it. Let's get into some jetpack era. Advanced Warfare, the TAC-19. You guys know what's kind of funny about the TAC? It's a pump-action shotgun, but its pellet damage is the same as the Bulldog from Ghost. Now, I don't know what happened there, but now you know. The TAC-19 was unlocked by default in Advanced Warfare and was a pump-action shotgun firing at 89 rounds per minute and hitting for up to 50 damage per pellet, making one-shot kills easy. Now, this was virtually always a one-shot kill for up to 10 meters, and then, well, it was a bit of a coin toss as to whether or not your pellets would connect the way you wanted to, but if you know how to play distances and close the gap, you could abuse people with this gun. Now, shotguns were tough to use effectively in AW due to the movement system, but if you were good at zipping around and playing just crazy jumping rabbit bunny hopping, you could do it. At that point, well, you could also just run up and punch them. Okay, everybody pretend to be surprised. Black Ops 3, the 205 Brecci. Now, it still baffles me how Treyarch let this gun go through testing, and they still haven't nerfed it. The Brecci was a semi-automatic shotgun with ridiculous range and a huge default mag at 12 rounds, 17 with extended. It would also almost always kill in 2 to 3 shots from any distance, especially with the long barrel attachment, and it had a 1.4 times headshot multiplier. Thanks for that one, Treyarch. That's very, very generous of you. The spam wasn't as bad at the beginning of Black Ops 3's life cycle, but as time went on and more people realized how good it was, and also Treyarch refusing to nerf it for reasons unexplained, the spamming got worse and worse. And now, you'll be hard-pressed to play Black Ops 3 for an hour and not find at least 5 people running around with the Brecci. And I'm sorry if I sound angry or annoyed at this entry, but I can't get over the fact that Treyarch would let a gun like this go for so long without rebalancing it. Infinite Warfare, the RAC-9. Essentially, a futuristic Spaz 12. It was a pump-action shotgun in Infinite Warfare that was even referred to as the Spaz 12 in the game files. Coincidence? I think not. The RAC-9 could carry up to 9 shells at once. 13 with extended. It was honestly a pretty underrated weapon. Shotguns weren't very popular in IW, but to be fair, IW wasn't very popular in IW either. I mean, I've already talked about the Spaz 12 3 times in the video. So just go take everything I said about the Modern Warfare 3 Spaz, apply it here, because it was basically a copy-pasted gun with a worse sound effect. Call of Duty World War II, the combat shotgun. Now, the combat situation, well, not the combat, the shotgun situation in COD World War II was weird, because for the longest time, the combat shotgun was the only one that was even remotely viable. It was your standard pump-action shotgun, carried 7 shells, and had a far more consistent one-shot kill than the other shotties. After a few balancing changes, the other shotguns got a little better. and the combat was brought down to earth a bit, and even after that, though, it was still the best in the game. And honestly, I don't know if I should attribute that to the combat shotgun being good or the other shotguns being so bad, because as I'm sure you guys are all aware, Call of Duty World War II had some trash shotguns. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge. The point is, the combat shotgun was the best shotty in COD World War II. Black Ops 4, the MOG 12 Dragon's Breath. Now, shotguns were moved back to secondaries in BO4, and as such, they were nerfed pretty hard. Then again, there were only 2 of them on launch day, so maybe Treyarch just forgot about them halfway through the development process. The MOG was the only pump-action shotgun available on day 1. While it was kind of crap on its own, the Operator mod Dragon's Breath made it one of the most powerful and obnoxious things in the entire game. This thing would apply a burning effect to the target, drain their health until they hit the heal button, but if they didn't react fast enough or if they weren't using stim shot, well, it was almost always too fast for them to counter and you'd get a kill a second or 2 after hitting them. The Dragon's Breath was annoying, and it was just another reason why a lot of people hated the Operator mod system. And personally, I think the Operator mod system had potential, but it needed a little more time in the oven to be something good. And finally, Modern Warfare 2019. You're going to be surprised. The R9-0. Now, if I made the list a few weeks ago, obviously the 725 would have taken this spot, but with all the nerfs, I don't think I can confidently put it up here. If you're still playing Modern Warfare, I'm sure you've started to notice another shotgun rising up to take its place. That is the R9. It's an extremely powerful shotgun that can fire twice before needing to be pumped, and it comes equipped with a huge default mag. Unlike the other shotguns that kind of need some attachment love to make them viable, the R9 is a beast on its own, and I think it's only a matter of time before this becomes the weapon of choice for all those M4 overkill users. And there you have it, my friends. Those are the best shotguns in every single Call of Duty. You let me know where we got it right and where we got it wrong. There is another COD history video up on the screen right now, probably a couple of them. Click one of them, just pick one, door A or door B, and I will see you over there in the comment section.